everyone. Welcome to this week's Fireside Creators. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Sherry Pallas. Tonight, we are talking with the Wild Goose crew. They are the disorganization experts and will get us all excited about what's coming up in July. Please remember to keep all comments and questions related to the show topic and that this is a safe space. Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to all of your comments and questions. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, grant StreamYard access so we can see your name when you have a comment or a question. Facebook no longer allows outside apps to stream into groups, so until I can figure out a workaround, it will air on my page. Let's give some shout outs to my top sponsors. I want to thank with all of my heart, Ruth, Kirsten, Michelle, Ray, and Heidi. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. If you would like to support me, you can go to sherrypallas.com. There's a support and store tab, and you will find literally dozens of ways to do so for as little as $3 a month. Thank you in advance. Plan on going to the Goose. I have a special discount code, but I can't give it away tonight. But PM me if you want to save $50 on an adult weekend ticket. Thank you for welcoming us into your home and joining the conversation. I appreciate you all. Okay, let's meet our guests and get smarter and excited. First, we have Cody Burton. Cody has been the director of operations for the Wild Goose since 2017. He is a real estate investor, agent, and avid traveler. Welcome, Cody.
Hey, Sherry.
So glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Let me remove that. There we go. Next, we have Jeff Clark. Jeff Clark is the producer and CEO of Wild Goose Festival. He is a professor of information systems and analytics and has experience in production, arts, manufacturing, banking, education, and politics. He was a manager partner of McLean Clark, a firm based in Washington, D.C. He holds a PhD in business engineering from Northwestern University and a DMin. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello, Sherry, and hello, everybody. It's good to be here.
I'm so glad you're here, and sorry for messing up your bio there.
Well, I'm not a very good baker, but I will say this. I'm a very committed eater of bakery products.
There you go. And last but definitely not least, we have Tim Kerr. Tim is the sponsor relations and wings coordinator with the Wild Goose Festival. Welcome, Tim.
Hello, everybody. Sherry, thanks for having us. Excited.
Thanks so much for being on. I hope I'm getting some feedback there. Oh, we just lost Jeff. Okay, so the Wild Goose is coming up. I'm sporting my Wild Goose shirt from last year. Everybody, are you sporting it too? Okay, we're all in uniform, just like a true coat would be. I love you guys so much, and I love the festival and everything that it brings. So what are we going? Oh, we have a whole bunch. Sarah Thompson. Hey, everybody. Hey, Kevin. Patrick. Yay. Everybody is watching and saying hello. So what's new and exciting this year? Don't all speak at once.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff, what's new and exciting this year? Now that you're back.
Well, thank you. Are you able to hear me? Because I've had to switch platforms. Yeah, I think I'm always a little reluctant to particularly identify someone as coming, because the fact is a whole lot of people come, and in fact, about 300 co-creators will be there. But I have to say that I'm particularly excited that Amy Jill Levine is coming. AJ Levine. She's widely considered perhaps to be the leading scholar on the person of Jesus in the world.
Oh, wow.
A Jewish professor at Vanderbilt University. Some of our folks will have read AJ's stuff. She's just brilliant and exciting, and she's coming. I would say this: our preachers. We have 4 preaching slots. Our opening preacher is Stan Mitchell on the opening night, and we're going to have a really cool opening night thing. I hope Cody will talk a little bit about it. And then Dr. Aubrey Hendricks, who wrote The Politics of Jesus, a major preacher and has a lot to say about Christian nationalism, will be the Friday morning speaker. Carrie Ladouceur will be our Saturday morning speaker. She directs an organization called the Post-Evangelical Group. And then Sunday's closing preacher is Dr. Jackie Lewis from Manhattan. She's a big Wild Goose favorite. So got great preachers and lots of good pre-festivals. We can go down in the weeds on anything you want. But programming-wise, it's what we've sort of come to anticipate. And we've got lots of things that we didn't anticipate that's showing up. Godly Play will be back leading the children's work. We've got more ways to stay on site in terms of tents. Tim can tell you all about those things. Tim and Cody know way more about all the local stuff than I do, so they can update you on all of those pieces.
You know, last year about this time, I recorded a video for the Goose page, and I looked like this and said, "Come find me. You know, I have all these wristbands for you," and realized that I should have done the video with my hair up, no makeup on, sweating, sitting in a pool going, "This is what I'm going to look like at the Goose. So come find me." But yeah, it's, you know, this is like, this doesn't exist at the Goose. It's camping, it's wild, it's fun, it's partying with awesome people. Cody, what do you have planned this year?
Yeah, I am excited about a few things. One being some of the newer spaces we have that are more drop-in spaces. So like the Science Tent, if you're familiar at all with that, it's been kind of an unofficial venue for a while, becoming more of an official thing that'll have stuff going on throughout the weekend. We've got some really cool artist participation and collaborations going on. And then also some really exciting things in the cinema. So I'm excited about some of those. You know, we always have so many amazing creators that I think it's almost easy to take for granted. Like Jeff said, 300.
Yeah.
But some of those other spaces that are going to kind of evolve throughout the weekend, I think are going to be a really interesting addition to the festival this year.
Are we doing the silent disco again?
Yep, we're doing silent disco again. I'll be DJing. I am looking for somebody to guest DJ currently, so hopefully we'll actually have a few different DJs up there.
Okay.
Yeah, should be a great time. We'll have the same thing, you know, multiple channels going, multiple genres. It's incredible chaos.
Fantastic.
Even if you're not inclined to dance in silent disco, you ought to go watch people do it. It's
hilarious.
At least hilarious.
I would argue it can be as fun just to watch, and you're just in silence while everybody else is moving around.
In that dance vein, we're back with late night honky tonk. So from 9:30 or 10 on, from the time Beer and Hymns ends, which is a major event at Wild Goose, from the time Beer and Hymns ends, there'll be late night honky tonk and silent disco. We got a new person leading the acoustic goose for the late night folks who want to jam on acoustic instruments.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tim, the founder of the Slippery Slope, who's throwing me a book launch party.
Yeah, that's
right.
What
do you have going
on? Lots of fun stuff. As Cody mentioned, the fun thing, Patrick and Sarah, who I think are watching right now, are going to do every night, either 9 or 10, I forget what time. They're going to do a late night storytelling event that'll be a little more risque, if you will, if you'd like to get a little more adventurous in your storytelling. We look forward to that.
I don't know that it's risque. Raunchy, maybe.
Raunchy could be, maybe. Okay, all right.
Well, I interrupt you there, Tim, because we're on a podcast here in which Sherry is leading us in a conversation on the difference between risque and raunchy.
So that's it. That fits
it is
the
my
Wild Goose. That's right. We are going to do Sherry. Sherry does have a brand new book out that's incredible. On Saturday night, I believe we're going to do her launch party at the Slippery Slope venue. Friday night, our friend Tu Francis, that's a big part of the Beer and Hymns band, has a CD he's going to release. We're doing that Friday night, so there's a party. Yeah. It's really turned into like Cody said, a de facto venue. We've got a fair amount of fun things. On Friday, we're going to do Pulpit Pandemonium. It's going to be a preach-off. So far, Beck Cranford and John Phil Winter have agreed to be two of the preachers. We may be, there you go, Sarah Thompson, Risque versus Raunchy, come slip on our slope. But,
Oh, geez.
the
At this
Pulpit
point, it feels like we needed an adult to step in and veer it in a different direction.
No, this
That's
is the
correct.
goose. This is the goose right here. This is totally emblematic of the goose.
But, yeah, lots of fun stuff. We obviously, Sherry, we all know Sherry because of the goose and the Slippery Slope, and she's now part of the crew. We just every year we find new folks and invite them in, and it's indescribable.
Well, I would like to say what my impression of it is. First of all, it's very hot. We will have pools. Come see us. We will be having pools in the
waiting pools, not the real pools.
Yes, waiting pools. Yes, like 2.5 feet deep. But they're definitely needed to cool off. I think that you can find information, speakers, co-creators that fit into every bit of belief systems. People who have left the church, people that are still holding on to the church, people who just want more freedom and love and are still looking for faith systems in order to do it. I love the camaraderie. I love the community. I love that someone was just walking by last year, and now I consider her a dear friend and colleague, Amantha Barbie. It turns into those things. She was just walking by, and I'm like, hey, put your feet in the pool. And now I have met a dear friend, many of them, Sarah, Patrick, I mean, all of them. It's so welcoming. It's so diverse. We could have more diversity, which I hope that we will grow into. But there really is something for everyone. And I think the worst part of the goose is that there's too much to do. That if I'm going to say anything like negative, I always want to split myself into 12 people because I want to be so many different places at once. It's like, sitting there the first day going through and scheduling everything. And really it's kind of traumatizing where you have to go, okay, which means more? How do because I want to be at all of these great speakers and learning from them, as well as drinking, having a good time, and really building bonds that I think become family, like Tim said. And by the way, I'm held hostage. I can't get out of working with the goose anymore. I've been told every year now.
Yeah. One of the cool things, though, the festival, of course, is outdoors, obviously. There's not a green room per se. So the beauty is sometimes those, like Amantha or whoever, someone that you may have wanted to go hear Amantha at whatever her session, whatever she was presenting, that you didn't make it to. Well, lo and behold, she's walking right past the campsite, and you say, hey, you look familiar, stop and talk. And next thing you know, you have more, you didn't miss anything. You literally became friends with her. And that happens more times than you can count. It really does.
Yeah.
Last year, Paula Stone Williams was leaving, and I grabbed her, and I was like, no, we're having a party at the pool. At a little pool in front of it. And she graciously walked down. She talked to everybody for about an hour. At one point, she looks at me and was like, I needed to get out of here. But it's those types of things where, it's impromptu. And that is one of the things I learned the first year, is to really let things flow. I mean, because I situations that, you're camping, it's hot, you're expecting people to come, maybe they don't, maybe they do. But because of everything that happened, and I just let it go, like, this is the way it's supposed to be, I met new people. I heard new things. It just really went with the flow of the goose, and it turned out to be more beautiful than I ever could have planned it.
It's interesting to me that you bring up the idea that there's more than you can do. We had a large debate about that years ago, and we sort of decided one of the sort of evidences of a really effective festival is that you can't do it all.
Yeah.
And because we kind of debated balancing and things like that. And in my experience as a guy who's done a few festivals, I like to be able to talk about festivals that I went to and describe the people I couldn't go see because there was so much going on. I missed X, Y, and Z. And that happens a lot with us. But Tim's so right. Everybody's extremely accessible.
Yeah.
We in fact, when we talk to invited guests, we kind of make that a point that this is not a place for you to come and be sequestered. This is a place for you to come, engage and join in.
Immerse yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, they're used to that. Looking forward to it.
Well, and on the opposite side of, oh my God, there's too much going on, you have something to try and meet everyone's needs. So you have the different aspects of beliefs and society and all of these different things. In order to do that, you kind of have to have that many creators. So when I say that there's too much to do, it's really not a complaint. It's just a personal ego issue of I just want to split myself into 12 people and be everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Talk to us about the fans, Jeff. Are there going to be more fans this year?
You mean as in folks excited about people being there or things blowing air on you?
Things blowing air.
We'll have more fans this year. On the operations side, one of the reoccurring conversations that we've had multiple times is Cody will be, he'll just show up and he'll say, we should get some of these. And we'll have more fans. We're going to have some specific intentional cooling spaces. I sense is that last year that while there were places to get really hot, there's also places to be in the shade.
Yeah.
There's places to kind of keep moving. And it seemed like with the fans we brought last year and this year, we're taking last year's budget and about doubling it. So there'll be more fans hanging, more fans sitting everywhere. The other thing we're going to do that's going to be, and I need everybody to agree not to hold me accountable for perfection on this, but we're bringing more golf carts, more shuttle carts.
Oh wow! Okay.
And they are going to run on a route, so that it's not like I'm back at one of the more eastern tents. Because if you've not been there, we have, I don't know, Cody, do you remember basically 14 venue tents? I think it is. So they're spread out. Right. Yeah, and so we've actually worked with our volunteers on the shuttle team to work on creating a route, and
Fantastic.
The route goes in specific loops. And during peak times, you should not be more than 5 minutes away from being able to jump on a cart.
That's great.
And the cart will take you from where you are to the next stop or wherever you want to go. And if you want to go to the parking lot, or if you want to go down to some of the more remote camping things, we've created the method around that. So I think that will just kind of ease the overall flow. And I believe
like a bus system.
Yeah.
The new bus will be around in 5 minutes. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I know years past it's been like, okay, I need to go here, I need to go there. But having some type of, especially expectations of some type of route is phenomenal.
Yeah, we've gone round and around on the route a bunch, and we've got a pretty good route set up now that'll be from all of the venues will be very closely touched. And if you're a person that needs additional assistance, we can literally drive you up to the venue. I mean, it's not like we're going to drop you off and say you're close now, get there. So the route will be consistent, but then we can also meet individual needs.
Yeah, emergency basis type of things.
You know, admittedly, it's a low bar, but we're shooting to have better public transit than the majority of major cities in the U.S.
Fantastic.
So
We can do it. We can do it.
We're shooting for a European model, right? So Sherry and I have a good shuttle story. I believe it. It wasn't last year. I think it was the first year there.
Yeah.
You needed to ride to the parking lot or whatever, and it was getting late in the evening, and I'm like, okay, but I can't guarantee you we're getting there safely. So hop on, let's go. But that's going to be something I forgot to bring up that we're going to have this year that's relevant to Sherry is our pop-up podcast tent.
Oh yeah.
We have a curated Goose Cast tent that's part of the venues that goes every Friday and Saturday, scheduled hour on the hour. We're going to have a separate tent that's going to be probably close to the bookstore, kind of on the main drag. That is basically going to be like a karaoke night. You sign up on the sign-up board. You find somebody that wants to talk with you at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 2 a.m. in the morning, doesn't matter, So we're hoping to really have some fun, interesting conversations happening at the pop-up podcast tent. So anybody that's listening that's going to be at the festival that's a podcaster, it's going to be open and available. It'll be well marked. So really excited about seeing where that goes.
So anyone can just go and start a podcast there and do it there type of thing?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we would assume they would already be a podcast. I mean, if they want to just go ahead and create it out of whole cloth and come on, I'm fixing to be a podcaster. Well, you go ahead on. But
there you go.
We probably have 35 or 40 podcasters that will be at least that'll be on site. So if not more, So I feel there'll be plenty of folks there that's will take advantage of it. Kind of make it a little hub, if you will. It'll have enough space for people to be an audience if you want an audience. So.
Well, and I think it would be even if you don't have a podcast or anything, it'd be a cool memorial type of thing, like, oh, we're here, and, start talking about everything that's going on.
Yeah. Well, we've got better internet access there, and so people will be able to, stream better. And this is way behind the scenes, but nobody knows, but everybody will care. A lot of progress been made with Casey Van Hoy, our host there, just on behind the scenes stuff. We got a picture, was it yesterday or today? Which day was it, Cody? All of what we call the midway power supplies have been upgraded to 50 amps. Now, I know we don't want to take long on that because nobody knows or cares about that except for Tim and Cody and Rick and all the rest of you all who want a donut or a cup of coffee. So it's been a real project distributing the power. And Casey loves Wild Goose, loves that we're there, proud of us, and keeps expanding. So we've actually got more power on the midway. We've got more. We've got a little bit more. I don't want to oversell it, Cody, but we've got a little bit more RV site support. So it's going to just the behind the scenes stuff is just something that this group has been doing a lot of things. In fact, folks perhaps don't know that Cody and Tim and some others have been there at least one major time, maybe a couple of times already this year. There's a lot of work in making all of this happen. It's just a lot of work and a lot of good people doing a lot of good things.
Well, and it shows, it shows by, there really isn't a lot of stress at the Goose. By the way, hey, Toof, I just heard about your CD. I'm going to have to talk to you about that. That, you guys really try. It really is, there are the elements out there. In fact, I got myself a neck fan for this year. I know that will help a lot. I'm getting 5 inches cut off my hair again before I go. So that will help a lot. But those just in order to keep cool. So you can absorb all the information. So you can get into the co-creators and what they're doing and why they're there. It makes it beautiful. I mean, very few stressors go on at the Wild Goose, and that is a testament to all of your efforts.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't want to open the podcast starting about this when you asked what we were all excited about, but this is the kind of stuff I'm actually excited about for the festival now. So we have some big power improvements. We have some other really good improvements. And it's probably not things people will necessarily see, but I think it's things people will feel as the festival just runs that much more smoothly.
Yeah, it really does. And everybody, I guess, knows this is, I mean, we just have hundreds of volunteers that make all of this work. I want to look back and mention a couple of persons. I didn't go down the grocery list earlier. Brian McLaren will be back with us. We always count on Brian to be there. David Gushy, who was with us last year for the first time and loved it and is coming back based on he's got a new book out. And Jim Wallace will be there. He's got a new book out on the false white gospel. If there was a ideological sub-theme this year, it might be dealing with Christian nationalism, because David Gushy and Jim Wallace and Doug Padgett and Nathan Imshaw and several others are right in the middle of that piece of work, and we'll have several sessions. The fact of the matter is, we a few years ago, people were saying we'd like to come to the Goose longer, and so we came up with the idea of pre-festival. So when we first did the pre-festival, as Tim and Cody will remember, it's like, well, we only did, I think, 3 beginning. It's like, surely we can get 3 tents up early enough for us to have a festival, have events going that day. This year we have 7 pre-festival events happening.
Really?
Yeah, and a pre-festival is something that starts at like 9 in the morning, goes to 5 on Thursday, the first day of the festival. So you basically come in on Wednesday night. One of the ones that I love that I was involved in helping launch is called Lead Now, which is for seminarians and first call ministers. And Jones and Jackie Bushcar lead that, and it's pretty amazing. And they build a cohort of folks and just keep working with it. But there's literally 6 other pre-festivals. Jim Wallace, Aubrey Hendricks, Jackie Lewis, and Ruby Sales will be leading one around false white gospel and Christian nationalism. By the way, I didn't mention earlier, but Ruby Sales is coming back for the second time to the Wild Goose. And if some of you all may know Ruby. She's kind of a civil rights icon, been doing it for a long, long time. And I was really excited that she said yes to be with us. Another person that was with us last year that loved it is Chabon Kerno, who is a indigenous population person out of Oklahoma. And he just wanted to come back. And I was really proud that he came and liked it and felt that it was a good validation of his life and time. So he's back. And Cody came up with an idea that he's been working with Paula Stone Williams. It's going to be a really cool opening night. If you're lingering as to what time you get there for opening night, because it's going to be really, really cool. In addition to opening with some music, when we get ready to go into sort of the opening part of the event, you know, the subtitle of Wild Goose is Spirit, Music, Justice, Arts. We were calling that jams for a while because, as Cody pointed out, if you rearrange those, justice, arts, music, spirit. And so we were calling it kind of a jam session. And Paula Stone Williams, who's become just a really major leader in the Wild Goose, Paula has a really big footprint in the TED Talks world. And so Paula's going to facilitate what's going to feel a little TED Talky, I guess. Is that an appropriate adjective, TED Talky?
I think so.
And what will happen is on that event, Paula will open it, and if I'm correct, I think she's going to build the event around the Mary Oliver poem, The Wild Geese. And she'll segue out of that. Brian McLaren will do the spirit segment. Jay Quest, also known as Julian DeChazier, and a member of our board from Chicago, will do the music. Then Britt Barron.
Jay Quest rocked it last year.
Yeah.
Jay Quest rocked it last year.
Yeah. Then Britt Barron will be a New Goose person coming from LA. Will do the justice piece, and then Hot Glue in the Gun will do the arts piece. And Paula will kind of hold all of this together and kind of move it along vis-a-vis a TED Talk. and then they sequence out of that directly into Stan Mitchell's opening sermon. And I don't know if you all, if you know Stan or engage with Stan online or whatever. Stan is on the very, very short list of really incredible speakers.
Yeah.
So, and Paula's just going to sort of anchor all of that. So that's going to be pretty cool.
So, and this is Thursday night starting at 6?
Well, we will begin opening music at 5:30. This piece will start at about 6:30, and we'll wrap up by about 8, and then we'll go into, I can't say, I don't have a confirmation as to who's going to sing next because I'm still working with somebody on that. Mm-hmm. Then at 9 o'clock, we go into Beer and Hymns. We do Beer and Hymns every night at 9 o'clock. And we moved Beer and Hymns from a later time up until 9 o'clock, and more people participated, and it's kind of all connected together. And then when you come out of Beer and Hymns, you got silent disco, and you've got honky tonk, which was really popular. And by the way, I can say to you all, didn't confirm it until yesterday. Some of the regular Wild Goose people know that we have a thing we call Goose House, which is the Goose House Band. And if you break out the members of the Goose House, it's like, oh my gosh, these people are incredible musicians. They have major parts in major organizations and things like that. And we played with the idea of how could Goose House be the honky tonk band? And we finally got all that landed this weekend. Danny Roca, I don't know if folks know Danny, but she's been a regular Goose person. She missed last year, but Danny's going to be the front person, kind of anchor of that. And the rest of the Goose band is going to be involved. And it's really exciting that they've all come on. We of course could go hire a quote honky tonk band, but Goosey is much more like let's do it ourselves kind of a thing. And so it's going to be a very good vibe, I think.
And I am recording this show live. I mean, it's always live, but at the Goose on Friday at 4 p.m. So come do it and sit down and get on the show and all that good stuff.
And
Sure,
actually, I think
What's
go
that?
ahead, Cody.
I was just saying, I think while you're at the festival, you need to swap it out and do a poolside instead.
Oh, can we do that?
Yeah.
We're both, yeah. That's
Can we
right.
do that? That would be awesome. Okay. I always joke that it gets really hot in here because of this fire. It's I know it's summertime, but
Yeah, you'll be hot enough already.
Yeah. You
A big thanks to Sherry. She was a big part of another guest we're having this year that everybody knows. The Naked Pastor will be there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Jennifer
sharing
Bird.
and Dr. Jennifer Bird. Yes. So those are some new additions to the festival that will really, really great.
In the category of news, Sarah McCammon is coming. Sarah's got a book that's just tearing things up right now called the Ex-Evangelicals is the title. She's an NPR reporter, comes from an evangelical background, and this is a New York Times bestseller. And she will be there being interviewed by Ray Waters out of Atlanta. Ray's interviewing her, and then she'll also be on a panel with some other folks who have a lot of background in post-evangelical thinking. So that's going to be a biggie. What I'm thinking, just trying to remember, Brian Johnson will be with us all this year. Brian Johnson is the arts pastor at Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago. Some folks will know Trinity as the home church of Dr. Otis Moss, who's one of our favorite preachers. So Brian's with us, and then on Sunday for the closing gathering with Jackie Lewis preaching, Brian Johnson is bringing in one of their feature soloists from Trinity. So it's going to be an exciting opening with Paula and the jam session. It's going to be an exciting close with Jackie and Brian and the soloist from Trinity. It's going to be pretty powerful.
Well, I know that we have a lot of people in the audience right now who are Goose regulars, but for those who are coming for the first time, what would you suggest? What would you warn them of? What all of that? I would say neck fan, cool clothes, good walking shoes. Good walking shoes is a big deal. I got such bad shin splints the first year because I was walking in thongs all day. Flip-flops. Sorry, flip-flops. Um, but what can we tell people to prepare themselves for such an extraordinary event?
Yeah, I would say
Go ahead, Cody.
kind of my initial advice is to let go of seeing everything you want to.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, because a lot of things are happening, but I would say even more so because, you know, one of the things that happens regularly at the Goose is you're on your way to some session you're very excited to see with a speaker that you really like, and you happen to catch somebody that was in a session sat next to you earlier or something like that, and you start up a conversation, and that becomes the best thing of the whole festival. You know,
That
I
is
know
so true.
before I was working for the festival, just attending, especially my first year or two, I was kind of like, oh, got to get to this thing, got to get to this thing. Oh, this is a great conversation. I've got to go because I got this other thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you know, the thing to do is to stay in that conversation
Yeah.
and get to experience that. So that's kind of what I tell everybody is, you know,
And it's so
circle
true.
your grid. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Circle your grid, make your plan, but hold your plan loosely.
I agree with it. I would say also get some rest.
True.
It's really not. Well,
This
it's
guy. Hold on 1 second. From the guy that shared, so this guy leaves our campsite at what, 2 a.m. and he's back in action at 7 a.m.
Right?
I'm not sure where he gets his rest, but go ahead.
well, the thing of it is, and I know everybody has to pace themselves. I get that, but I find it. I mean, we start at 7:30 in the morning with music in the Commons. We will have Waking the
I've never
Goose at
seen that.
8:30, and it's incredible. And then music all day long, and 12 to 13 speaking tents. One is called the Convo Hall, where as many as 10 simultaneous conversations will be held. And we have music in the evening, and then we have dance, and we have gathering, and
It's packed. It really is. It's packed.
I don't know that my issue is what do they call it, FOMO. I don't know that I have a fear of missing out. I just don't plan to miss out. I mean, I don't have a fear of it. I just don't do it. I just don't miss out.
Well, I mean, I can say there's so much with that I can look back on the Goose where old me would have been very frustrated and very angry that things didn't work out the way they did. Like one of the first year, my Convo Hall, one of the days didn't have anybody show up. And the Slippery Slope team starts coming up and I'm like, no, it's okay. It's not supposed to happen today. And because of that, I had the most amazing day. So, and you see that going through the Goose. If you get really hyper focused on needing something to happen and do this, then you very well may have an anxiety attack. You really just got to let it go and go with the flow and know that everything's happening the way it should, like all of life. But I can honestly tell you that everything as a control freak that would have pissed me off years ago are what is so beautiful about the Goose.
Well, and depending upon where a person's coming from, I guess with their belief system, leaving a lot of room for the wind of the spirit to blow, and whether that is a spirit with a capital S or just the spirit of community, there's just a lot of things that just happens because you're engaged. I like Cody's term of make your plans, but hold them loosely.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and because there's just so many opportunities and so many fantastic people there that you want to capitalize on every event, but let that flow. You know, don't get stuck in your schedule and get angry. Because for one, it's too hot to do that. And for two, you'll miss the whole vibe of the Goose.
So Kirsty, who is one of our board members and just a magical person who keeps our music together, shared a comment there. Take some risk on musicians or speakers you've never heard of. Obviously, It's easy to get enamored with the big names and this and that. But like Jeff said, we have close to 300 co-creators, people that are very passionate about what they're speaking about, who are experts in their field, but you've never heard of them. And you will go and be like just blown away. Go listen to Brian McLaren or Stan Mitchell or, any of the folks that have a national big presence, but don't dismiss somebody just because you've never heard of them. It's amazing the things you'll find.
Yeah. And I think the one common goal, like I said, that, you have a very broad diversity of religious beliefs that come into the Goose, from atheism to still maintaining some type of fundamentalism. But it's all based on love. It's all based on, how to make yourself a more loving person, regardless of what you believe, to broaden your mind, broaden your social circles. Like my show is going to be able to, how are we going to speak justice into the world? How are we going to bring this in? And there's a lot of topics like that where you can just go and figure out how to be a more loving person, which is why I love it so much. Okay. And what else? Get a camper, tents. There's what would the bougie tents?
If you can stay on site, it's definitely best. We understand, that it's not feasible for everybody for whatever reason that may be. If you can at all stay on site, there's so much that goes on early in the day, late in the evening. There's just such a vibe. If you're new, if you're walking around and you see some people hanging around the campsite or whatever, odds are just wander over and you'll be more than welcome.
Well, and if you wander by my campsite, I'm probably going to be calling you from the road saying, come here, sit down, have some fun. So, yeah.
In that vein, Tim, we've had a lot of folks show up to camp for the first time. Sometimes they went to Dana, who does tents that you can just walk in and the tents are there. We also have glamping, which are more comfortable and all set up for you. So there are plenty of ways for you to get gear. But I've had several people that I knew personally that came and knew nothing about camping and made really great friends, because the nature of the Goose is everybody's going to pitch in and help. So you won't be standing there with a chart trying to figure out how to put your tent together. Somebody knows, and if they don't know, they'll help you anyway. So there's no sense of remoteness. You'll be enveloped, but you can camp with Dana. You can bring your own camping gear. You can camp with glamping. You can bring an RV. I don't know if we've got any full service RV spots left, but maybe with some new ones coming on. But there's places for you to do an RV, and then we're about 10 miles from Statesville. And if you hadn't been to Wild Goose or hadn't been in a while, our new location is basically right at the interstate, but it's on a really large farm, so you feel plenty remote. But it's about 10 minutes from Statesville, which has all of whatever you have. We're two big interstates interchange, so there's plenty of hotels there, plenty restaurants of all various sorts. So it's very easy to make it work.
The first year I stayed in a hotel, I wouldn't do it again. I mean, it was nice to be able to have a room to go to, but I mean, I fixed that by joining friends and renting an RV. I think that's, really the best way to do it. But I really did miss so much. I missed so much. I still felt the camaraderie. I still felt the community, but having to leave each night, it just, like Tim said, with the golf cart thing, it sucked. It totally sucked. And I think that, some of the best times that I had personally was sitting with 20, 30 people with their foot in our pool at, 1:00 in the morning, all talking about all the greatest things.
Yeah. It is a beautiful.
the RV spots right now are sold out. There's a waiting list. Cody keeps track of that. But back to the beauty of Casey Boy and Family Farm, he is investing a lot of money in infrastructure in his property. We're expecting numerous spots to become available soon. I think Cody's been in contact with extra spots. So the folks that are on the waiting list, I feel comfortable will have a spot. And if not this year, by next year. I mean, he's really, we were up there in, was it March, Cody?
March.
Yeah, March.
And he has got heavy equipment, Caterpillars, road graders, making new spots. I mean, he's investing a lot of money, mostly because of our friend Kevin there, who Kevin we met at the Goose. He wandered up and stayed and talk about the food trucks. So we have a great selection. He camps with Dana, so if you have any questions, Kevin will tell you all about Dana and her area. But yeah, plenty of food trucks on site. You don't have to worry.
Well, there was pizza, Spanish food, ice cream. What were the other food trucks? What are we looking at again this year?
We got Kerala curry.
Okay.
I'm not sure they're going to be back, sadly. I think they sold the truck, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
sorry.
Kevin, look at everybody doing Indian. Oh no.
I'm sorry. Break that news. It may be the truth.
So Cody, on the wait list, are we waitlisted on if you have an RV but don't need hookup support, are we waitlisted?
No, so we still have plenty of space on non-hookup RVs, so that is available for people that want that. We also have a wait list, and you can find that on our website to go add to the wait list, because right now we are technically sold out. We have a wait list happening. We always have one or two at the very end that back out, and right now, like Tim was saying, we should have some more sites coming online. And right now, no promises, but right now the anticipated number of sites coming online is larger than the wait list that we have. So we may actually have a couple sites that come up just, right before the festival. So if you want an RV site and you don't have an RV site, go to our website, get on that wait list, and then I'll email you when it comes available.
One of the other things I want to address is that while I now stay in the same area with Tim and Greg and Toof and Patrick and everybody, I have gone every year to the Goose alone and never once felt alone. Literally from the moment I walked on to the festival grounds, it was looking around and oh, wow, this is, and instantly friendships. So, and even last year, someone posted in the Wild Goose page that she was coming alone. And there was 30 comments of people going, we're going to be here. We're going to be here. Come see us. Come meet us. So even if you want to do this alone or have to do it alone, like in my case, I mean, I'm coming all the way from California. So, you don't feel alone. You don't feel left out. You are instantly with family and friends and everybody who will graciously say, what do you need? What can we do to help? Come join us, sit down. We want to hear your story. And I made up men's
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Obviously my position is sponsor relations and stuff. So I better make sure and give a shout out to all our fabulous sponsors. When you go on our website, go to the sponsor page and make sure that you show some love to those folks that they make a huge difference in us, the ability to do the festival and to rent fans and to pay for things. We realized you would be amazed what portalettes cost and stuff like that. But our sponsors are just incredible. So can't thank them all enough. Not enough. Ben Williams just hopped in. One of the things we did in March, the old honey wagon. Cody, you want to tell us about that? That would be almost a good.
I'm skeptical. We're getting back to that risque stuff. What's a honey wagon?
So the honey wagon is a trailer that we built to empty the RVs since they don't have any sewage connections. So people will be able to shower and do all their stuff, and we'll be able to empty the tanks for them. So that's for our RVers. That'll be a big upgrade.
Yeah,
huge. I mean, we were worried about our black tank the entire time.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome.
That's the Jeff Clark Memorial honey wagon.
Well, the first year I went there, I did not want to be, I wanted to be very modest in requesting the RV because I get in Saturday before and I'm gone to like Tuesday or so afterwards. Here's something I've discovered. The size of the RV is directly correspondent to the size of the black tank. So if you get a modest size RV, you got to hold back on the poop. I'm just saying we had issues. We had issues. So we've solved that problem now.
Fantastic.
I want to say something about, we've got so many things going on, but we've got 2 new pre-festivals I want to say something about because they're a little different. We've got one called Don't Skip Recess. Angela Spearman has generated this. She's a therapist, and it's basically for therapists and social caregivers. And it's an all day long Thursday gathering, but it's not like a CEU. It's not a continuing education thing. It's basically a place for folks in that world to come together and support each other. And we've just had a really good response to that already. And then we just added one called Faith in Action. A person that came last year named Jonah Overton. They are from Milwaukee, and they have created a congregation up there. And their experience, besides theology, is in community organizing. And so what Jonah has done is using community organizing skills in creating faith gatherings. So this is for folks who are trying to figure out, okay, how do we build faith gatherings, whether you call them churches or whatever, in this progressive world. And Jonah has some experience in that and is going to do a one-day festival around that, just that very topic. I think I'm really pleased that they're available for that.
That's great.
So,
Kelly's asking about showers for the rest of us.
I'm glad Kelly did that because so we have the universe is a beautiful thing. Our United Methodist friends, who the UMCs, they're a huge sponsor, a huge part of the festival. UMCOR, their disaster relief arm. I don't remember what the acronym stands for. They met us there in March. They have 2 4-stall shower trailers.
Fantastic.
That they are bringing for us. Yes, they absolutely are. They came. Cody was touring them around the site, and as they were touring, Cody, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, so it's a fun story. So they came to kind of see where they were going to place their trailer. And I'm walking them around saying, we could put it here, we could put it there. Here's a few options for you. And, we walked around and the guy looks at me, he goes, this is a big place. Are you sure you don't need 2 of them? I said, I didn't know that was an option.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have 8 shower trailers, actual real walls, things like that. And then all of the tents will be out as well. So we'll have a lot more capacity for showers, and then also nicer, cleaner showers.
Yeah, there's a local church here that a whole steam of showers come in every Thursday and Friday to give all of the homeless people showers. So, I mean, those things are awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So one quick thing, I think Rebecca mentioned, the portalettes stay clean. one thing we do that we're committed, that ticket sales, sponsors, so on and so forth, help do. We budget and contract for a AM cleaning and a PM cleaning, on Friday and Saturday. So that costs, of course, a lot of money, but it makes a big difference. Instead of letting them sit there in the heat all day, or it's little things like you say that the ability to have the finances to do that makes things better for everybody. So.
Well, and I, throughout my life, I've been a pretty big festival goer type of thing. And most of the horror stories I have of previous festivals circle around the portalettes. So, and it's not that way at the Goose. They are clean. I mean, I remember my girlfriend Heidi going, I've never been to a festival with such clean portalettes. There was no fear of going in. It was very nice. Portalettes that scare me in general. Those didn't.
If you are a volunteer, or if you're a person that has not volunteered but thinking about it, one of the other emphases we've had for this year is on how we strike the set, how we get done on Sunday and turn it all over. If you've been involved with that over the last few years, it's been a little bit crazy, but we've spent a fair amount of money and planning to make that better. So, even if you're in a spot where you're not really a volunteer, but you just want to hang around a couple of hours on Sunday, just see if you can pitch in a little bit to help, that would be a cool thing. And we would certainly enjoy it if you just pitched in a bunch, but we're going to try to make it practical for someone that could literally say, well, we've got to get back to Indianapolis, but we could hang for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so the idea would be, we got stuff for you to do. Just, go move this, whatever. Because we now have 3 on-site storage facilities. Again, because of our support.
Wow.
And folks giving us money, that's big. That we had 2 that were at Hot Springs that were hours to bring, but it was going to be, these what would you call them, Tim? Like former truck
containers.
So we had 2 there. Moving them was going to be really expensive, and we finally found a person that would do them at a modest price. And then we filled them, packed out all the way up, and we had a generous donor step up and said, let's get another one. So we have 3 there now. So it's just going to be a little less crazy, at least. I can't say it won't be crazy. It'll be less crazy striking it. But you have to realize everything we put up, we have to take down. And I'm not complaining. We're proud to get to do it. But I just want you to be aware that if you're on that team or just want to volunteer a bit, a lot of thinking has been done and a lot of work has been done to make it very palatable and very doable this time around.
Yeah.
And like Burning Man, the goal is leave no trace.
Absolutely.
So, we have to make sure that everything's cleaned up afterwards. I mean, if there was any chaos, it was that last day because everybody was like, oh my God, everything's got to go. But again, it's more of a, oh, I'm going to miss you guys. I'll see you next year type of energy as opposed to anything really angry or anything like that. It's just a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Yeah. And I do want to take the opportunity, since it came up, to pitch our teardown team. I'm going to be much more involved in teardown this year than I have been in the past. So good volunteers are always helpful. And teardown is the only volunteering you can do at the whole festival, where you can not only attend the entire festival, but also attend the pre-festivals and then do your volunteering after the fact. So you really can miss, I'm not going to say you won't miss anything because everybody obviously misses something, as we said. But it is the way to volunteer where you're not having to do that during the festival or ahead of it where you're missing pre-festival.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, we are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's energized and excited. I can't wait to see all of my family at the Goose. Tim, any final words and where can people find you?
Tim at wildgoosefestival.org. If you have folks that that you think might be a good sponsor for the festival, or so on and so forth, send them my way.
Fantastic. Cody, any final words, and where can people find you?
Yeah, find me at the festival. I'll be, at the Slippery Slope or Silent Disco. Come dance with me. And I'll, like I sign off almost every email, I'll see y'all in July.
There you go. Jeff,
It's
any
been
final
exciting.
words?
It's been exciting to see people posting in the comments. I'm just Jeff at wildgoosefestival.org. Happy to serve you. I consider it incredible, just an incredible opportunity to get to be involved in this. It's just blows me away to wake up every morning and think about Wild Goose.
It's definitely exciting. Okay, well, I'm going to send you all backstage. Thank you so much again. It's been a great talk, and I am excited.
Thank you.
Another great show. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to check out my book. It's available everywhere. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on my book. It's going to be awesome. Next week's show is on shame, dealing with it, processing it, how to let go of it. I think it's going to be a wonderful topic and hopefully heal a lot of people, including me. If you like the show, share it, subscribe. Thanks for all for watching, and have a wonderful week. And as always, walk in love. Mwah! See you next week.